Well, all the latest on the World Cup in just a bit, but first, let's start with a developing story. Sources have told headlines today that Jagmohan Dalmia is almost certain to return as the BCCI president. According to sources, the Srinivasan camp has offered an unconditional support to Dalmia, as the Srinivasan camp fears if the Pawar camp gets Dalmia on their side, it might mean Srinivasan loses out on the ICC post as well. Also, the Srinivasan camp felt that if Sharad Pawar or his candidate comes to power, no member for Srinivasan's camp will likely get any post in the BCCI. All said and done, it's a dramatic return for Dalmia to the helm of the BCCI. Nominations are likely to be filed by 3 p.m. this afternoon. Remember, headlines today had earlier reported the race for the BCCI top post is heating up, and it could either be Sharad Pawar, Rajiv Shukla, Anurag Thakur or Jagmohan Dalmia as the new BCCI president. But now it looks almost certain that Jagmohan Dalmia will return as the BCCI chief. All right, so now we've got Boria Majumdar live from Kolkata. Boria, it's a very interesting development. What's the latest that we know on the BCCI elections? Will it really be safe to say that it's confirmed that Jagmohan Dalmia is going to be the next BCCI president?
Almost, Himanshu, at the moment at least. I mean, in BCCI, every second minute things change. But, excuse me, from what I understand from late last night and in fact now, meetings are still on at the Park Sheraton Hotel in Chennai. It is almost certain that Jagmohan Dalmia will return as BCCI president. He not only comes from East Zone, he has the proposer and the seconder votes with him from the East Zone, which he needs. He now has the support of the Srinivasan lobby as well, perhaps the Pawar lobby as well, because, you know, he almost emerges as a kind of a consensus candidate at this point in time. There was a chance of Anurag Thakur as being the preferred BJP candidate till late last night, but from what I understand at this point in time in the morning on Sunday, 1st of March, it is Jagmohan Dalmia. It will all be clear between 12 and 3, and by 6 p.m. all the nominations will be told to the world. But as you said, it will perhaps be Jagmohan Dalmia at this point in time.
Boria, share with us some of those juicy details behind the scenes. What really tilted the scales in Dalmia's favor?
3 things. One, the Srinivasan lobby does not want Sharad Pawar at any cost, because they know that if Sharad Pawar comes, they will have it far more problematic. 2, Srinivasan now fears that if the Pawar lobby gets its way, his ICC position is also in disarray. ICC chairman is a BCCI nominee. Srinivasan is a BCCI nominee in the ICC. If Mr. Dalmia comes to power with Srinivasan support, chances are there will be a compromise and Srinivasan will at least get to stay in his position as ICC chairman. BCCI, his reign is over. Third, Dalmia comes from the East Zone and holds sway. He has Tripura with him, he has CAB with him, he has NCC, National Cricket Club, with him, and from what I understand, Assam has also turned towards Jagmohan Dalmia. So clearly he has a majority of votes in the East Zone. All of these things taken together, it is now pretty much apparent that it will be Jagmohan Dalmia. Who will be the other office bearers? We've got to wait and see. Secretary, Treasurer, Joint Secretary, IPL Chairman, all of these posts will be, hectic lobbying is on and will be discussed over the next 4 hours. But President, 99% you can say it will be Dalmia.
Right. Nikhil, your first reaction to this big development, and of course the bigger question is, will Indian cricket emerge cleaner and better with Dalmia in the driver's seat?
Well, I hope so. After what the board's gone through in the last, say, 12 odd months, with the whole IPL match-fixing saga and problems, within the laws and things like that. So I hope so. Mr. Dalmia can go out there and clean it, because don't forget, he's a very, very experienced man. 98, 99, he's the man who turned around the ICC when ICC had no money. He's the one who gave the World Champions Trophy, how it started, and he turned money around for the BCCI as well. So in that regard, he's been one of the good administrators in terms of spinning things around. And I hope that that you talk about cleanup with a transparent view, things getting cleaned up and betterment of cricket. I hope he can go out there and do that as well.
All right, Nikhil, stay with us. I'll come back to you in a bit. Onto the World Cup now, when India have made it 3 wins out of 3 at the 2015 World Cup, beating UAE by 9 wickets at Perth on Saturday. UAE's decision to bat first backfired as they lost wickets like a pack of cards. Ashwin led the Indian bowling charge with figures of 4 for 25. Ravindra Jadeja also joined the party as he dismissed 2 wickets. and so did Umesh Yadav. Only Khurram Khan and Shaiman Anwar managed to reach double figures as the Indian juggernaut halted the minnows for 102 runs. In response, India did not have much trouble, though they did lose Shikhar Dhawan to a loose shot. But from there on, it was all about India. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli shared an unbeaten stand to take India home comfortably. So a third win in 3 matches for India. No surprises that Ashwin was named the man of the match for his brilliant spell. All right, so we've now joined by Shivani Gupta, who joins us live from Australia. Shivani, of course, a big day for India. They've won their 3rd straight match. How are the fans reacting in Australia as well as the Indian team management?
Well, everybody's really happy, Himanshu. This is the first time in a World Cup campaign that India has won its first 3 matches. So in that sense, title defense seems to be going well on track. Not many expectations from this team before the World Cup started, especially in view of that, winless tour we had in Australia. But I think that's what has helped India eventually, because they've had that kind of time to be here and hone their skills. Bowling is turning out to be extremely good right now. Batting is clicking, and fielding has made a difference in each and every match. Even yesterday we saw that brilliant catch by Shikhar Dhawan. This might have been a smaller opposition, but this match and winning this match comprehensively was extremely important to keep the momentum going. The next one is against West Indies. Big hitter Chris Gayle, Taylor, Roach and others in that lineup here at the Waka itself. And therefore, this match would serve as ideal preparation for that battle. Team management is quite happy. Team India is taking a day off today and perhaps will start training tomorrow or day after. As far as the fans here are concerned, they feel that India now are the team to beat and can surely defend their title in Australia. And many feel, speaking to Aussie fans here as well, and not just the Indians, that it's going to be an Australia-India final where India will have the edge, Himanshu.
All right, Shivani, stay with me. I'll come back to you in a bit. Australian spinner Brad Hogg is in awe of Team India's performance in the World Cup so far. In an exclusive interview to Headlines today, Hogg said the Indian team are now among the front runners to lift the trophy. All right, let's go across to Boria Majumdar. Boria, of course, there's no doubt this Indian team is looking unstoppable, even in the absence of their coach and an informed bowler like Mohammad Shami.
Absolutely, they were clinical, they were ruthless, and that's what you need to be. Think of Australia in 2003, 10 wins on the trot. Think of Australia in 2007. That's your mantra. Winning is a habit. You kept losing in the last 2 months, January and early February. So now, if you've got the momentum, keep going.
All right, Nikhil, 8 wickets in 3 matches for Ashwin. He, of course, seems to be really liking the conditions in Australia. How would you rate him on a scale of 1 to 10 and why?
Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I rate him pretty high. The difference has been, ever since we've seen Ashwin bowl in the World Cup, he's bowling much slower. The time that he spent out there in Australia, he's understood the conditions. If he's quicker through the air, he's not going to get a lot of purchase off the wicket. That's why he's allowing the ball to hang in the air. The idea, Himanshu, is to get enough revolutions on that cricket ball. Classic words were said by Shane Warne's coach once, spins in the air and turn is off the wicket. So you must have enough spin off the ball in the air so that the ball can turn. And you saw that bowling performance against the UAE. He allowed the ball to hang in the air against UAE on that Perth track. That's why he was getting that extra bit of bounce, because at the Waka you always get that bounce. But if you're bowling quicker, it's only going to help the batsman. So I'm glad that he's varying his pace and he's bowling a much attacking line. He's looking hungrier to go out there and pick up wickets, because if he doesn't pick up wickets in that middle overs, come the depth overs, the Indian quick bowlers will find it difficult to bowl in those last 10-12 overs.
All right, Nikhil. Well, let's now listen to what MS Dhoni had to say after India's comprehensive win over UAE.
Ash bowled really well. What's really important is, according to the wicket, you have to change your bowling to some extent. You have to find the right length and the right trajectory to bowl. And I felt Ash did that really well. He did use his faster one also, and he was quite successful to get a bit of swing on it, and that was the reason he got a couple of wickets out of those particular deliveries. But I felt his line and length was superb, and the pace at which he bowled. And also Jadeja got a bit of turn later on. I introduced him quite late. I wanted to go on with a few more overs of the fast bowler, but he bowled well. Whatever opportunity he got, he bowled well. I thought Bhuvi started off well. He was slightly up in pace. That's what it felt like from behind. So it's good to see the whole fast bowling unit available for selection. We'll see who suits the best on those particular wickets that's provided. So it's good to see him getting a bit of action. ICC tournaments, when it comes to ICC tournaments, you have to raise your game as individuals and as team. And there's no real secret magic to it. Yes, we had a tough season so far. Since we have been in Australia, we were hampered by injuries to a lot of extent. A lot of batsmen, they were not getting enough runs, and also it's difficult to switch straight from Test cricket to ODI cricket. At times it becomes slightly difficult, not for individuals who play the similar sorts, where they play their normal shots and all of that. But overall, yes, we did find it difficult, but what has improved is the consistency in bowling and the way we are picking our shots. That's the crucial aspect, irrespective of which format you're playing. You pick your shots, you pick which bowler to target, which areas to hit, and the more good decisions you take, the better is the reflection in the scorecard, both in bowling and batting.
All right, so Shivani, do we have any update on Mohammad Shami and Duncan Fletcher? Are they expected to be back before or rather in time for the game against West Indies on Friday?
That's what we're hearing, Himanshu, that both Duncan Fletcher and Mohammad Shami should be all right. Of course, not too many details flow out of the Indian camp, between matches. So we'll know more when the Indian team, practices next before the West Indies game. I'm actually standing right outside the team hotel. It's quite quiet here today. Sunday lazy afternoon here in Perth. Team is taking a day off as well. Maybe they'll step out for lunch or shopping like we've seen them doing over the past few weeks as well. But expectation is that both Mohammad Shami and Duncan Fletcher should be back. Mohammad Shami in contention, but now it would be a tough choice for them as well. Do they give Bhuvneshwar Kumar another game here in Perth, or would they want Mohammad Shami to come back so soon? They rested him as a precautionary measure even now, so they could continue to do that even for the next game. Lots of matches to be played still. It's still early in the World Cup, so we'll have to wait and see on that, Himanshu.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us on this show. In fact, Shivani Gupta spoke to some of the fans after India's comprehensive win over the UAE. Take a look.
It's turned out to be a great match for India. Low-scoring one, but exactly what they needed to keep the momentum going. I have some boisterous Indian fans here with me. Fans couldn't be more excited with this big win. It may be a match against UAE, but fans enjoyed it thoroughly. Let's talk. Let's talk with a few fans here if we can manage that. What did you like about the match today? It was low scoring, but did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Who was your favorite player today?
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
Yeah.
Not Rohit Sharma, who scored the half century. Do you think India is now the team to beat in this competition?
Of course. Wait, India got this. Let's go India! Come on India! Come on India! You got this, boys.
The youngest supporter here.
Yes. He's not too happy. Oh, the poor guy is a little troubled with all the noise here. But tell me, what do you think? Who's going to be the toughest challenge for India in this World Cup?
No strongest team than India. That's it. India needs to hold on the horses. The way Chris Gayle going now.
All right, fans very, very happy. There are lots of expectations now from the team after the first 3 wins. And here's hoping, of course, that they can deliver on that. The tougher challenge, though, will come against the West Indies here at Perth itself. With camera person Manish Mathur at Perth, Shivani Gupta for Headlines Today.
All right, on to the first match played yesterday. It was billed as a clash of the Titans, and the match lived up to all the expectations. In a low-scoring thriller, New Zealand beat Australia by 1 wicket. Opting to bat first, Australia were bowled out for a score of 151. They collapsed from 80 for 2 to 106 for 9 in the span of 9 overs. Brad Haddin top scored for the Aussies with 43 and along with Pat Cummins shared a 45-run stand before Australia were bundled out for 151. Trent Boult was a star performer for New Zealand and returned with figures of 5 for 27. In reply, Brandon McCullum got Kiwis off to a flyer and slammed his third half century of the event of just 24 deliveries. But Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins brought the Aussies back into the game by ripping through the Kiwi batting lineup after his dismissal. The match went down to the wire as New Zealand were reduced to 146 for 9, needing 6 runs with just 1 wicket in hand. Kane Williamson held his nerves in the end and took the hosts home with a massive 6. While Brad Hogg believes New Zealand's win over Australia has shown how tough the Kiwis are in their home conditions. In an exclusive chat with Headlines Today, Hogg said Australia will have to pull up their socks after their loss to New Zealand.
I have Brad Hogg with me, and of course I have to talk to him about the Australian performance against New Zealand. You previewed the match for us. You said it would be a ripper. It was that, but perhaps not in this fashion. Australian batting, Michael Clarke came back. He said it was horrendous. How would you describe it?
Look, it was a little bit disappointing. I thought Boult bowled extremely well, but there was a couple of balls that didn't have to be played out where they played on onto the stumps. That was Mitchell Marsh and also Maxwell. So it would have been a disappointing result from Australia. But at the end of the day, I think it was great. It just shows that sixes aren't the most exciting thing in cricket. When you have a close contest like that, low scoring where the bowlers dominated, it keeps everyone on the edge of the seats.
Absolutely. New Zealand made a tough ask of it, this low total, and we've seen that against England as well earlier. Do you think when they have a low target on the board, the batsmen lose their minds a little bit?
Oh, look, I think they rely on Guptill, McCullum and also Williamson. Those top three are probably very vital for them to get them off to a good start. Taylor's a fantastic player, but still a little bit vulnerable as he's getting on with age. And then you got Elliott and Anderson in that middle order. So if you get a couple of early wickets against New Zealand and you expose Elliott and Anderson to a newish ball, New Zealand could be in a lot of trouble. But still, I'm backing them with the momentum of the way their cricket's been over the last couple of months, that they're going to have a lot of success in this World Cup.
And what about that finish, Australia within a whisk, Starc on a hat-trick. He could have finished it off with a hat-trick. Couldn't have asked for a more thrilling finale. In the end, though, heartbreak for him especially. Oh,
definitely. Australia really fought back into that contest, and Stark's had a few issues with a couple of commentators over during that Indian summer. And look, it's great to see him turn it around and really show that particular commentator of what he's made of. And to get a hat-trick on that final over of when he was bowling and then not get that final wicket, he'll be very disappointed, but at the end of the day we didn't bat well.
But what does it say about Australia's title contention? New Zealand have separated themselves from Australia. They have the next match against Afghanistan, relatively easy here at Perth, but not going on track.
Yeah, it's not going on track. I think the only consistent team that we've seen so far is India. They dominated South Africa and they dominated Pakistan, and obviously they played UAE where we're expected them to win. So India against the West Indies, if they dominate the West Indies here at the Wacker on Friday night, well, India are moving into those finals as the favourites for my liking, because they're the team that have been most consistent in the early stages of this World Cup. So, yeah, Australia, New Zealand, they've had flutters there where they've shown excellence, but we're also not confident about where they're at the moment either.
Pool B match against Zimbabwe, and I've elected to bat first in a Pool B match at Brisbane today. They've included Rahat Ali in place of Yunus Khan. And now on to the other big game today. Riding on a brilliant century by Joe Root, England have set Sri Lanka a target of 310 runs in 50 overs in their ongoing Pool A match at Wellington. Sri Lanka are on 85 without any loss at the end of 15 overs. All right, so that's a scorecard for you. Joe Root scoring 121, coming up with a fantastic 100 to lead the English charge, taking them to 309 for 6. and Sri Lanka coming up with a solid response to that English total. Dilshan and Thirimane on the crease right now.